So this morning I'm going to delve a little bit into the current politics of the day, and I usually do not do this. But because politics, I don't know if that's the right word for it, but I'll use it. But because politics has become increasingly dangerous for Jews these days, I'm going to step outside the zone for a few minutes. NFL star apologizes for posting anti-Semitic quotes attributed to Hitler. As we know, those quotes were not by Hitler, but the fact that he quoted him says something about the man himself. We're going to look at this article carefully on the Times of Israel and do a little bit of analysis and see where all this is really coming from. Philadelphia Eagles wide receiver Deshaun Jackson said he unintentionally hurt the Jewish community after Instagram post said white Jews have planned for world domination. This white thing that's been going on, that's something that the English people, the British people came up with. That's not something that the Jews came up with. So, you can look at me. How white do you think I really am? Come on, folks. Stop the stupidity. Have a plan for world domination. I'm going to get to that four-letter phrase, a four-word phrase. I'm going to get to that in just a minute because those are code words. Philadelphia Eagles wide receiver Deshaun Jackson apologized on Tuesday after backlash for sharing anti-Semitic posts on social media over the weekend. Now, one thing that Times of Israel is not posting is he said, I would like to apologize. Now, one of the places I used to work a while back, I would deliver parts to mechanics. He said, Henry, I would like to thank you. And of course, me being the one who I ask people to be careful how you talk, I said, I would like to say you're welcome. You want to hear that again? Henry, I would like to thank you. And my answer was blank. I would like to say you're welcome. Of course, the response exposed the falseness of the thank you. When you say, I would like to apologize, that means your apology is fake. Because one could go back and say, I would like to accept your apology. And everyone knows that's sarcasm. And it's a statement saying, I don't accept your apology. You see? My post was definitely not intended for anybody, for any race to feel any type of way, especially the Jewish community, Jackson said in a video he posted on Instagram on Tuesday. And incidentally, I can't find that Instagram post anywhere or the phrase that he said anywhere. Now, what if somebody of a different color would have said such a thing about his ethnicity? You would be able to find it everywhere. He says, here's excuse making time. I post things on my story all the time, and I probably never should have posted anything Hitler did. Probably. Doesn't sound very resounding to me, because Hitler was a bad person. And I know that, he said. Just a bad person? Well, there are plenty of bad people in jail that have never done anything remotely what Hitler did. He also wrote in the Post on Tuesday evening, "I intentionally hurt the Jewish community, and for that I am sorry. I will fully educate myself and work with local and national organizers to be more informed and make a difference in our community," he wrote. Jackson has over 1 million followers on the network. The inflammatory posts were a part of the story on the platform, meaning they were temporary posts that disappear in 24 hours and are no longer visible. One of the 2 Hitler quotes posted by Jackson Monday accused white Jews of having a plan for world domination. The quotes are said to be Hitler's justification for the mass murder of Jews in Europe. Now, Snopes' website is, they're just as fake as everybody else is, so I do not take any stock in what Snopes says. They claim that it's been first published on a clickbait website called fmlgoneviral.com in 2015. Actually, that is absolutely false. Yes, Snopes committed a falsehood right here. I'll get to that in just a minute. The Post also said that Hitler said because the white Jews know that the Negroes are the children, and now you see where he's really coming. This is, folks, this is the reason why this apology is a non-apology. So he hides behind Hitler because in his own mind, Hitler said because the white Jews know that the Negroes are the real children of Israel, and to keep America's secret that the Jews will blackmail America, the white citizens of America will be terrified to know that all this time they have been mistreating and discriminating and lynching the children of Israel, meaning black people. Jackson later added to one of the posts, "Anyone who feels that I have hatred toward the Jewish community took my post the wrong way. I have no hatred in my heart towards no one." And there's yet another clue. A double negative. He knows how to speak, folks. These football players are very highly educated. Their coaches don't use double negatives. He knew exactly what he was doing here. On Saturday, he posted a now-removed photo of Nation of Islam leader Louis Farrakhan delivering his 3-hour 4th of July address, in which Farrakhan called the Jews termites and denounced the synagogue of Satan, repeated canards about Jews. Yes, folks, repeated canards that the Europeans came up with. Yes, folks. All right, so we're going to go back to this particular statement. White Jews have a plan for world domination. Where did that come from? Well, the way to find out is type in Google, Jewish plan for world domination, or Jewish plan to dominate the world. So this is what I've done. And what do you see? Yes, Snopes can never get the truth right. They should be thrown off the web. Jewish plan to dominate the world comes from the Protocals of Elders of Zion. And those of you who bothered to watch my videos, you will note that in this particular video that I did, the third one down, did America help Germany exterminate the Jews? If you haven't read it, you should read it and or listen to it, and then read the book that I was quoting from. And you will see the persecution that the Jews have faced over and over and over and over and over again, and it never stopped. And at least 1 out of 2 Jews that were born into this world since the year 70 on the Roman calendar have been murdered by the Gentiles. And by joining up with Louis Farrakhan, calling the Jews fake Jews, he is exactly who he thinks he hates: the white man or the white European. You know, the white European, the one who was responsible for the murder of 1 out of every 2 Jews that were born since the year 70 on the Roman calendar. So you want to join up with them too and reap their curses? This is what's going on here, folks. And believe me, there are a lot of black folks in the United States that agree with Louis Farrakhan. Protocols of the Elders of Zion. The Protocols of the Meetings of the Learned Elders of Zion is a fabricated anti-Semitic text purported to describe a Jewish plan for global domination. Snopes, go find another source of income. You've utterly failed at the truth. The hoax, which is shown to be plagiarized from several earlier sources, some not anti-Semitic in nature, was first published in Russia in 1903, translated into multiple languages and disseminated internationally in the early part of the 20th century, according to the claims made by some of the publishers. The Protocols are the minutes of 24 sessions of a meeting of the 12 tribes of Israel, during which Jewish leaders discussed their goal of global Jewish hegemony by subverting the morals of the Gentiles by controlling the press and the world's economies. Henry Ford funded printing of 500,000 copies that were distributed throughout the United States in the 1920s. Distillations of it were assigned by some German teachers as if factual, to be read by German school children after the Nazis came to power in 1933. No, Deshaun Watson, your apology is not accepted by me. You're a fake and a fraud, making millions and millions of dollars, or crying about your poor, miserable excuse for life. And the guys paying you in the Philadelphia Eagles are Jews. How dare you? Despite having been exposed as fraudulent by the British newspaper The Times in 1921, the German Frankfurter Zeitung in 1924, it remains widely available in numerous languages, in print and on the internet, and continues to be presented by neo-fascist, fundamentalist, anti-Semitic groups as well as a genuine document. So what Wikipedia is saying is that Deshaun Jackson and those who cover for him are neo-fascists, anti-Semitics. I didn't just pull this out of the air. No. Oh, this is on Wikipedia. in print and on the internet, and continues to be presented by neo-fascist, fundamentalist, anti-Semitic groups as a genuine document. The political scientist Stephen Bronner describes it as probably the most influential work of anti-Semitism ever written. What the Communist Manifesto is for Marxism, the fictitious Protocols is for anti-Semitism. In other words, this Protocols of the Elders of Zion is the precursor to Mein Kampf, Hitler's writings. So y'all want to go and quote the Protocols of the Elders of Zion? That's what you want to do? You think that it's the Jews' fault, that the Jews have subverted the what they say, the morals of the Gentiles. The Jewish leaders supposedly discussed their goal of global Jewish hegemony by subverting the morals of the Gentiles and by controlling the press and the world's economies. So this is where you're going to go. Well, you're wrong. The truth is, the Jew, Yehoshua, not to be confused with Jesus, is going to rule the world. It's not going to be by subverting the morals of the Gentiles. It is going to be by handing down judgment against the Gentiles for all the murders that they committed against the Jews, for all the slander that they committed against the Jews, like this. Why? Because the Jews are his brethren. The Jews are the brothers of Yehoshua, the Messiah. That's why he's going to lay down judgment upon the Gentiles. So they want to take a quote out of context. In the book of Revelation, Revelation 3 and verse 9. To the angel of the church of Philadelphia write these things, says he that is holy, he that is true, he that has the key of David. Now the man at the Vatican claims he has the keys to the kingdom. But they're not the keys of David. Now, if he claims to have the keys to the kingdom and he's in Rome, and the keys to the kingdom and David actually are concerning Jerusalem, then by default, the keys to the kingdom of Rome is the synagogue of Satan. Where is the city of David? City of David. See if we can get a map up. Maybe an image or something. Let's see. All right. This is City of David right here. Where is it located? It's in Old Jerusalem. All right? All right, this City of David right here in Old Jerusalem. Okay, so then let's do this. Let's look up Old Jerusalem. Right here. Let's see. All right, here we go. Okay, so this is the Western Wall. That would mean the City of David is in East Jerusalem. Or is East Jerusalem? He that has the keys to the East Jerusalem. You see. This is West Jerusalem here. As you can see right there. East Jerusalem. This is the City of David. So the keys in Rome are not the keys of the kingdom of David. He that has the key of David. And he opens it, no man shuts, and shuts, and no man opens. Uh-oh. It's not hard to find fraud here, folks. I know your works, and I have set before you an open door, and no man can shut it. For you have a little strength, and you have kept my word, and have not denied my name. No, they didn't call him Jesus. Called him by his real name, Yehoshua. Behold, I will make them of the synagogue of Satan, who claim they are Jews and are not, but do lie. Behold, I will make them come and worship before your feet, and to know that I have loved you. All right. So they immediately attribute it to Yehoshua's relatives, the real Jews. So they call the real Jews fake Jews. But the Jews don't, or if the Jews don't worship at the synagogue of Satan, because their synagogues are synagogues of Jehovah. They say Hashem, which means the name, and the name is attributed to Jehovah. Now Satan, on the other hand, is Baal. All right, let's try this. All right, let's just remove the Baal here, and we'll find us here eventually. Jesus, or Azus, was a Gaulish god. Was it a Hebrew? Is there anything Hebrew about this guy? No. Jesus is accompanied or on different panels of the Pillar of the Boatman by Tarvos Trigarianus, the bull with the three cranes, Jupiter, Vulcan, and other gods. Who is Jupiter? Jupiter and Zeus are the same thing, and Zeus is Satan. We go back to Revelation 3. All right? We'll go to actually to Revelation 2. Verse 12, and to the angel to the church of Pergamos write these things, that he has a sharp sword with two edges. I know your works and where you dwell, even where Satan's seat is. Back in those days, Satan's seat that was in Pergamos was Zeus's altar. All right? Watch. Pergamos, Zeus's altar. The Pergamon altar is a monumental construction built during the reign of King Eumenes II. The divine addressees could be especially Zeus, father of the gods, etc. The altar of Zeus, folks. The altar of Zeus has been taken from Asia Minor and taken to Germany in Berlin's Museum Island. So, now you know they worship at the synagogue of Jesus, Jupiter, Zeus. It doesn't take rocket science to figure out what's going on here. Now, we'll get further. We'll delve deep further. He says that these people who claim that they are Jews and are not, let me show you something. You see this flag here? How many stars do you see? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Do you think that's an accident? That they would claim to be the real Israel? Replacement Israel? Supersessionism. Well, see, what they say here is that it asserts that the new covenant through, as they say, Jesus Christ supersedes the old covenant, which is made exclusively with the Jewish people. All right. What they fail to recognize is that the new covenant is made for the whole house of Israel. As I've been pointing out in my YouTube channel these last 5 or 6 years. Let me rephrase this. All right, this israeltoday.co.il. Let's see how they talk about this. Oh, they're talking about Messianic Jews. All right, after the year 200, a new theological conviction began to sweep Gentile Christianity. This theological foundation had to rationalize and justify that which was already happening. In later centuries, this theological system was called supersession or replacement theology. According to replacement theology, in his anger with the Jews for killing the Messiah, no, his name is not God, his name is Jehovah, revoked his covenant with Israel. Since they were no longer the covenant people, the Jews lost their birthright and as a people were deprived of divine grace, no longer the chosen people. They had to remain in a state of collective sin under the condemnation from, as they say, God. In their place, there was the new chosen people, the church, seen as the new Israel, replacing Israel of the flesh. That is a fairly accurate documentation here. But these people didn't worship at the synagogue of Yehoshua. They worshipped at the synagogue of Jesus, which clearly is an ode to Zeus or Satan. As I just proved to you. More proof. More proof. Behold, I will make them come and worship before your feet and to know that I have loved you. All right, watch this. I believe it's in Isaiah 60. There it is, right there. Are you ready? Many are not ready for this. This entire chapter tells the whole story. The sons also of them that afflicted you will come bowing unto you. Let's go to Strong's Concordance here. They will bow down unto you. The sons of those who did the afflicting. And all those who spurned you, who despised you, claiming that you were using immorality to overthrow the Gentiles to rule the world. Those who despised you, had contempt for you, the Europeans and these people who follow Louis Farrakhan, they will all bow themselves down at the soles of your feet. They shall call you the city of Jehovah, Zion, the holy Israel. He's going to make them say it with their own mouth. Take their hair by the hair of their head and push it down at the soles of the feet of those who they slandered, mocked, and ridiculed and murdered. And the folks of the Church of Philadelphia will be there alongside the Jews, along with the Jews, because they did not participate in these lies, these falsehoods. They didn't participate in replacement theology. This whole chapter states how all the wealth of the Gentiles is going to be brought to Zion. Zion, Zion, it mentions Zion so many times in this particular chapter. You know how to separate the lie from the truth, folks? You ready for this? Zionism versus anti-Zionism. You want to get the truth out of Deshaun Jackson? Just ask him if he's a Zionist or not. Or any Christian or Muslim for that matter. That will tell you whether he or she is the enemy of the truth or not. Me? I am a Zionist. You cannot get more Zionist than I am, at least not among the people who are on the earth today. I believe these several things: that all the borders of the Balfour Declaration, as we see right here, I'll have it up in just a second. All the borders of the Balfour Declaration exclusively belong to the Jews. We're not even talking about the lost 10 tribes yet. Oh. Ho, 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 ho. You're that kind of a Zionist, are you, Henry? Yes, I am. Now, let's go to Yehoshua 1, verses 1 through 4. Show me a Zionist like me in this world. Oh, hold on. Strong's Concordance. Did I mispronounce Yehoshua? No, I did not. The name is not even Joshua. Now, after the death of Moshe, the servant of Jehovah, it came to pass that Jehovah spoke unto who? Yehoshua. You see that? Yehoshua. Yehoshua is the name of Moses's or Moshe's first successor and the name of his second successor. Not Jesus. Saying, Moshe, my servant, is dead. Now therefore arise and go over this Jordan, you and all the people with you in this land. I will give it to you and even to the children of Israel, every place that the sole of your foot treads on. That means Jordan belongs to Israel. Every place that the sole of their feet shall tread upon. And incidentally, the soles of their feet have tread all over the world now. That I have given to you, as I said to Moses, from this wilderness and Lebanon, even unto the great river, the river Euphrates. Well, the river of Euphrates goes all the way as half of Iraq. Yes, it is. And all the land of the Hittites. Let's have a look at the land of the Hittites. There it is. Plain as the nose on your face. Right here. Right there. Does that look familiar to you? Dude, that's about 90% of Asia Minor, or what we call Turkey today. And it goes way down into these other countries and down into Syria. And unto the great sea, that would be the Mediterranean Sea, toward the going down of the sun, shall be your coast. Now, oh, that's not enough for this Zionist speaking to you today? No, it's not. Because Moshe said something as well in Deuteronomy 32. Verse 8, when the Most High, Elyon, took possession of the Gentiles, or when he takes possession of the Gentiles. Takes possession. He will divide the sons of Adam and set the boundaries of the earth, or of the people, according to the number of the children of Israel. Because Jehovah's portion is his people, and Jacob is the lot, the band of his inheritance. This is not past tense, no. No, this is future tense. Now that, my friends, is the truth. That is Zionism. That is where I stand. I don't know where you stand, but I know where I stand. I am a Zionist. And you can tell the truth tellers from the liars by where they stand concerning Zion. If they're anti-Zionists, they're anti-Semitic. It's just that simple, folks.